Good day, Facebook world and League of Wisconsin Municipalities friends and members. Hey, happy election day. So to all those public officials who are running for election or running for re-election, good luck to you. I hope everything goes well. So hello again, I'm Todd Schmidt. I'm the village administrator in Waunakee. So not having to run for election either in the past or frankly ever. It's not my shtick, but I'm the village administrator here in Waunakee. I'm also serving as this year's league president, which I'm very thankful for and have really enjoyed in terms of getting to know our many members, even though it's all virtual. So anyway, today I put on my bowling shirt, my league bowling shirt, because it's supposed to be like 75 degrees. And I'm out here in Village Park, obviously, as you can see in Waunakee Village Park. And I'm joined by Chris Polzer. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning.
Great to have you with me. I always like being joined by a fellow UW-Platteville grad.
Thank you.
Go Pioneers. I was really pleased that you reached out to me earlier this year. It might have been last year, actually, when I started doing this series on humility. And I kind of put a ping out there to our members saying, hey, if this resonates with you and you want to share stories with me or with our members, let me know. And you, Chris, were one of the first people to chime in and say, I got something that's good to share. So I don't know if you necessarily wanted to share it, but I bent your elbow and you said, okay. But hey, quick introduction. So I learned something, a 2-breath introduction. Introduce us to you, but you can only take 2 breaths in the process. Ready, go.
Well, I can talk forever, but I'm going to keep it brief. Retired, but very active on several boards, including Village Trustees and Village of Poinette. I am also on the Columbia County Board of Supervisors and Madison College Board of Trustees. And I also teach part-time for UW-Platteville.
I think I counted 4 breaths, but that's pretty good.
Thank you.
No, but I think what's interesting is that you kind of span several organizations, education, county, municipal. So what a great perspective to bring to our discussion today. So I'm glad you're with us, Chris. All right, you have an interesting perspective, a unique perspective than what we've been talking about over the past half year on the subject that I think is really, really good to bring to the table. So first question. In your experience working at your various levels of government, what types of public servants have shown you the greatest amount of humility?
I see humility as more complicated than what it appears. I think those that really show humility are those that are in it for the right reasons, meaning they're not looking for recognition. They're truly there to give back and to help their community or whatever volunteer organization they're involved in, or with whatever board they're involved in. I also think how they stand out is that they have a passion for what they're doing. It's not just a job, but it's their passion. And again, they're truly there to help others and for the right reasons. I also think that they demonstrate leadership by being open-minded, listening to others, and being kind to others. We see so much rhetoric just nationwide and worldwide that they stand out when they come across as being consensus builders, team builders, and being good and kind to others and trying to do the right thing.
You just nailed like a perfect synopsis of pure humility. And you mentioned in there, you mentioned volunteer service. And I know when we spoke prior, you couldn't gush enough about the heart of the volunteer. So what lessons do you think we can learn from the examples of humility that we see from those who volunteer, the volunteer hearts?
Well, I think it's very similar to the first question, but how I became so involved in this was that my parents instilled in my siblings and I the importance of volunteerism, of giving back. And I became more involved in this the last couple of years by giving presentations on the state of volunteerism right now, and we're struggling with that. And for a lot of different reasons, and today is not the time or the place for that, but just so people have a historical component, volunteerism has been gradually reduced over time. And again, for a number of reasons. Again, I think it's with volunteerism, how are we treating other people? Why are we volunteering? Are we there to give back? And again, volunteers stand out to me that they're not looking for any recognition. They're doing it for the right reasons. I also think when we look at volunteerism, Todd, we need to look at having reasonable expectations. So if I'm volunteering for a certain organization, I need to have reasonable expectations, not only of myself, but also of the people that I'm working with. The other area of volunteerism that I take a look at is, as volunteers, are we looking at what the true benefits of volunteerism is? And again, it's not for recognition. It's about giving back. It's about helping others.
The few organizations that I'm involved with, like Rotary and Lions in our chamber here in Waunakee, I have seen that the people who are involved that enjoy it the most are the ones who jump in the most. So it seems like the volunteers get this by virtue of working hard. They personally gain some good themselves as well. So there's definitely mutual benefit, I would.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I make that comment regularly. The best part of the boards that I have served on are the people that I've met and the relationships that I've built. And obviously very difficult during the pandemic. With Madison College Board of Trustees, I've only met one of those board members in person, and the president. I have not met you in person. For someone like me, who considers them a social being, that makes things difficult. But it also reinforces to me the importance to stay the course and keep doing things like this and stay involved and encourage others to get involved.
Good. So do you have some good ideas on how we as local government officials, whether it's appointed administrators, managers, or elected officials, can, sort of honor the volunteer in our community, recognize them, reward them, and help to build them up? How can we best do that? Because I think you're going to agree that that is a critical element to keep them going, to keep them energized.
Absolutely. It's a slippery slope, though, and I'm going to give a couple very brief examples.
Okay.
But for example, National Volunteer Week is April 18th through the 24th of 2021. So that's an excellent opportunity right there if people want to, if you want to recognize somebody within your organization. Here's the problem, though, that I've run into is a lot of times people that I've wanted to recognize for their volunteer services want nothing to do with it. They're not interested in that recognition. And
there's the humility, isn't there? That's the humility.
And very, not just private people, but they're not there for the recognition. They're there just because they really enjoy what they're doing. I think that they enjoy the relationships. But as you brought up earlier, they also enjoy what they're getting back, by contributing something positive. Something that we did, we started last year in Poinette, and I'm proud to say that I raised this issue with our village board, and they were very supportive. But we now have a Volunteer of the Year award in Poinette. And so that's something that we issue once a year, and we have a very structured application process. So somebody's not going to be recognized unless they want to. But our first recipients were a couple, Mel and Ruth Ann, who have been involved in our food pantry for many, many years in Poinette and just do an incredible job. So we recognize them with a plaque and a gift certificate at one of our village board meetings. And that's something that we're going to do once a year. And I think that that's one way that we can acknowledge these people that are volunteering. I don't want to leave out, particularly for the communities such as Poinette, our fire and EMS, including in Sauk, in Sauk City, Sauk Prairie, the volunteers and the EMS and the fire departments in Poinette and all the other smaller communities that don't have full-time services. That's just one example of the volunteering that goes on that really makes our communities better, safer, and makes them a small town. There's a big difference too, Todd, between recognizing somebody and rewarding them. And I think that the volunteers that I've worked with aren't looking for rewards, but I do support your comments. Recognition is very important, and to acknowledge. And I think that that's one way we can show humility is to express gratitude. And I see a connection between the two, but to express gratitude to others, you know, and to say at the very least a thank you. But there's other ways that we can show gratitude as well, of having a recognition day and those types of things. So those are just some quick ideas. The Volunteer of the Year award, that's something I'm very proud of. That we do that as a village. I'm also very proud of our village board that they supported me on that, including our president, who I've learned a lot from, of how to express humility. So I hope that answers your question. I think that we need to surround ourselves with people that are going to have some strong leadership. And I've been very lucky with that, especially recently on the boards that I'm on, because they express their humility by being open-minded, taking a team approach, listening to all points of view, and again, a consensus building and a consensus decision.
Good words, Chris. What was the week? What's the Volunteer Recognition Week?
Is April 18th through the 24th.
Okay, so I know that Gail is hiding behind the scenes with our video here. So I wonder if perhaps that's something we could recognize on the league Facebook page, maybe in concert with our discussion here, to throw out a recognition across the state to all those who volunteer and dedicate their time and effort to others. So I always like to grant the last word on our videos. Now, by last word, well, last couple sentences, Chris, can you do that? No, but I'm willing to allow you to kind of close us out with a final thought on humility. What else is on your mind?
Well, a lot of things, but I really don't think today is the time or the place for it. I think I need to model appropriate behavior and be a good example of humility and being humble. And so I will conclude by saying, I appreciate the opportunity to meet with you today. I appreciate and value the opportunity for you to ask me some really good questions. And I also thank you for the opportunity to express just my thoughts, my experiences on things, because again, that's just one example. So I appreciate the opportunity to share some of my experiences with you. Yeah,
you're welcome, Chris. And I thank you for your service in all the organizations that you volunteer for.
Thank you.
So job well done.
Thank you.
Well, league members, I wish you again, a wonderful election day and enjoy the spring weather. I hope we all can enjoy, hopefully, what is going to be a venturing out season for all of us coming up post-COVID. So thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you.